allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me. Call tonight's meeting to order at 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood.
I'm here.
Charles Costick. Absent. Dana Isabella.
Yes.
Daniel Bosley.
Here.
James Coffey.
Here.
And I, Katie Colucci, present.
Resolution 148, accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of March 27th of 2025 and April 3rd be accepted and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mosley, Isabella. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Is there anyone seeking public comment this evening? Seeing none, we'll advance to resolution 149.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 6A-25 for $215,034.12. Abstract 6A-25 prepays for the amount of $376,909.85 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstracts.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Isabella. Is there a second?
Second.
Wood. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 150, the monthly department reports.
Resolved to receive and place on file the monthly department head reports for the following departments. For April of 2025, we have the Buildings and Grounds Department, the Highway Superintendent's Department, the Parks and Recreation Department, Supervisor's Financial Report, and the Town Clerk, as well as Water and Wastewater. We also have for March of 2025, the Dog Control Officer. We have the Town Clerk for March of 2025, as well as the Planning and Community Development for May of 2025.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Mosley. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. I keep checking my phone because we do have a public hearing this evening, not to be rude. Resolution 151, retirement of Pamela St. John from the position of court clerk in the town of Plattsburgh Justice Court.
Whereas Pamela St. John has submitted a letter of retirement from her position of court clerk in the town of Plattsburgh Justice Court office effective January 5th of 2026, therefore be it resolved that the town board, with appreciation of her for her service in that position, accept Ms. St. John's letter of retirement as court clerk and wish her well with her future endeavors. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and a copy be placed in Ms. St. John's personnel file.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Bosley. Is there a second?
Second.
Isabella. I would just note that Pamela has had really a distinguished career here at the town. I think it's 34, 35 years serving under numerous judges, and we were just very, very fortunate to have had her down in the court, and I know that she's going to be working with Justice Joyce to help onboard the new hire. They're going to be going through a process, but that's why we're doing this resolution now, and allowing her to go through the steps of retirement and so on and so forth. But I want to publicly thank her now, and later on when she's finally finishing her service. So, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution 152, the Katyville Volunteer Fire Department's application to conduct and operate a place of public amusement and permit for public fireworks.
Whereas Katyville Volunteer Fire Department has duly submitted to the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board an application to conduct and operate a place of public amusement and an application for a permit for public display of fireworks to be held on Saturday, June 7th of 2024. Excuse me. We are in 2025 now already. Can you believe it? At the place of the field space on Church Street in the town of Plattsburgh. And whereas the Katyville Field Day is a deeply rooted tradition in the town of Plattsburgh that serves as our version of Old Homes Day, includes the only parade in the town, field day activities for all generations, and acts as an annual reunion of family and friends both near and far. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh wishes to support our partnering municipal entity, the Katyville Volunteer Fire Department, with their annual field day festivities and fireworks, which are underwritten by local donations to help celebrate the return of the much-beloved town tradition. And whereas the town clerk has verified that all required documentation has been received and the town attorney approving the application and liability insurance coverage as to form. And the Katyville Volunteer Fire Department as the controlling agency of the land on which the public display of fireworks is to be held, having also approved the granting of said application by the town. Now therefore it is resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh does waive all of the related license and permit fees associated with the public event. It does hereby authorize and direct the town clerk to issue the required license to conduct and operate a place of public amusement within the town of Plattsburgh and the permit for public display of fireworks by the applicant for said event on Saturday, June 7th of 2025. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, the codes officer, the town clerk, and the Katyville Fire Department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Isabella, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. The Town of Plattsburgh Town Board Monthly Meeting, public hearing June 5th, 2025. Notice is hereby given that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board will meet and hold public hearing thereon at the Town Hall located at the Bank Road in the Town of Plattsburgh, Clinton County, New York, on Thursday, June 5th, 2025 at 6:05 p.m. prevailing time in relation to proposed local law number 4 of 2025, local law authorizing a real property tax exemption to qualified volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers. This evening, we will accept written comments into the record, and we will also provide the opportunity to hear from individuals from the floor. Is there a motion to open this public hearing?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Second?
Bosley. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all is, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Daniel Bosley,
Yes.
and Michael Cashman.
Yes. We will open the public hearing at 6:06 p.m. I'll begin by asking the clerk, did you receive any written comment to be placed into the record?
I have not.
The town supervisor's office has also not received any written comments to be placed into the record. Is there anyone seeking the floor? Seeing as no one is seeking the floor, we will keep this public hearing open and we'll continue on with the resolutions. Resolution 153, Twin State Maintenance Renewal Agreement.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh maintains a maintenance agreement with Twin State to provide telephone hardware, software, and system support. And whereas Twin State has submitted the service details and pricing to the town for service from September 1st of 2025 to August 31st of 2026. And whereas the town board has provided within the general fund of the town of Plattsburgh 2025 budget of the approval of the service details and pricing of our ongoing contract with Twin State in the amount of $7,467.60. And whereas the town attorney has approved to form the one-year contract continuation submitted by Twin State, now therefore be it resolved that the contract service details and pricing submitted by Twin State be approved and the supervisor is authorized to execute the same for the town of Plattsburgh, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Isabella, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 154, Imperial Dam on Saranac River.
Whereas the town board of the town of Plattsburgh has previously passed a resolution supporting the removal of the Imperial Dam and now seeks to reaffirm its commitment to this project and its associated public safety, environmental, and recreational benefits. And whereas the Imperial Dam is located on the Saranac River in Plattsburgh, New York, and is a Class C high hazard dam, its failure may result in serious damage to residences and infrastructure, such as the loss of human life and or widespread economic loss is likely. And whereas Imperial Dam has a long history of serious, uncorrected safety and habitat deficiencies, such as ice buildup, which exacerbates ice dams downstream, impacting the city of Plattsburgh infrastructure. And whereas the impounded water behind Imperial Dam is not used for any hydropower, electrical generation, or industrial use, and whereas improved fish passage has improved health of the landlocked salmon fishery in the Saranac River would likely increase tourism and recreational opportunities within the city and town of Plattsburgh. And whereas the town board of the town of Plattsburgh received a presentation by the Lake Champlain chapter of the Trout Unlimited on October 24th of 2019 regarding these issues, now therefore be it resolved that the town of Plattsburgh supports the removal of the Imperial Dam and the full restoration of the Saranac Rivers to reduce any threats to public safety, improve the recreational benefits to nearby communities, and allow full access of native Atlantic salmon to historic native spawning waters. It is further resolved that the town of Plattsburgh joins and supports the efforts of the city of Plattsburgh as well as those of the Lake Champlain chapter of Trout Unlimited to remove the Imperial Dam.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Dan, was there a second? Wood. Just one little footnote, the resolution is reaffirming our previous position. I know, Dan, you were on the board at the time, but the other item is that Don Lee, who is a member of Trout Unlimited, specifically asked for this to be reaffirmed because they are in a continuous advocacy campaign with this. So just giving kind of the full context of everything. All right. With nothing further, is all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 155, temporary seasonal hire for building and grounds, Devin Loop.
Whereas the supervisor has received a letter from Richard Rasco, Buildings and Maintenance Supervisor, requesting to hire a seasonal worker, and whereas Devin Loop will be appointed to said position when all employment verification and eligibility provisions have been satisfied, starting on June 9th of 2025. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign all necessary documents to hire seasonal temporary help for the Buildings and Grounds Department, and a certified copy of this resolution be given to the Finance Manager and the Clinton County Civil Service Department of Personnel for their final approval, and a copy be placed in Mr. Loop's personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Isabella, is there a second?
Second?
Dan? Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Resolution carries. Returning back to the public hearing, the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board monthly meeting, public hearing, June 5th, 2025. The notice is hereby given that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board will meet and hold public hearings thereon at the Town Hall located at the Bank Road in the Town of Plattsburgh, Clinton County, New York, on Thursday, 5th June 2025, at 6:05 p.m. prevailing time in relation to the proposed local law number 4 of 2025, a local law authorizing a real property tax exemption to qualified volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers. This evening, we are accepting written comments to be placed into the record, as well as providing an opportunity to hear from individuals from the floor. I'll once again ask the clerk, was there any letters received to your office?
There was not.
Neither at the town supervisor's office. So I'll ask 3 times, is there anyone seeking the floor? Is there anyone seeking the floor? Is there anyone seeking the floor? Seeing that no one is seeking the floor during this public hearing, I will ask for a motion to close this public hearing. Is there a
So
motion?
moved.
Wood. Is there a second?
Seconded?
Leslie. Any discussion? Seeing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Dana Isabella?
Yes.
Daniel Bosley?
Yes.
Michael Cashman?
Yes, we will officially close this public hearing at 6:11 p.m. Moving forward to Resolution 156, authorizing the adoption of local law number 4 of the year 2025, authorizing real property tax exemption to qualified volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers.
Whereas a resolution was duly adopted by the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh for a public hearing to be held by said governing body on June 5th of 2025 at 6:05 p.m. at the Town of Plattsburgh, 151 Baker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, to hear all interested parties on a proposed local law entitled Local Law Number 4 of 2025, a local law authorizing a real property tax exemption to qualified volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers, designating qualified volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers as eligible to receive the real property tax exemption created by the New York State Legislature's amendment of the real property tax law, adding section 466-A, authorizing towns to adopt said law. And whereas a notice of said public hearing was duly advertised in the Press Republic and the official newspaper of said town on May 23rd of 2025, and whereas said public hearing was duly held on June 5th of 2025 at 6:05 p.m. at Banker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, and all parties in attendance were permitted an opportunity to speak on behalf or in opposition to said proposed local law or any part thereof. And whereas pursuant to Part 617 of the Implementing Regulations pertaining to Article 8 State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEEKR, it has been determined by the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh that this is a Type 2 action and no further review will be and could be processed by other applicable governmental agencies without further regard to SEEKR. And whereas the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh, after due deliberation, finds it in the best interest of said town to adopt said local law, therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh hereby adopts the local law number 4 of 2025 entitled Local Law Authorizing Real Property Tax Exemption to Qualified Volunteer Firefighters and Volunteer Ambulance Workers. Be it further resolved that the Town Clerk be and hereby is directed to enter said local law in the minutes of this meeting and in the local law book of the Town of Plattsburgh, give due notice of the adoption of said local law to the Secretary of State of New York. Resolved that this local law shall apply to the taxable status date next succeeding the date on which this local law shall have become effective.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Isabella, is there a second?
Second?
Mosley, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution does carry, thank you. Resolution 157, purchase request for dump body for plow truck for highway department.
Whereas normal use requires periodical updates of equipment used to maintain the roads in the city of Plattsburgh.
Excuse me.
And whereas Greg Brunel, Highway Superintendent, has submitted a request for permission to purchase a tandem axle package with plow, wing and side dump body for the recently purchased 2026 Western Star 47X plow truck in the amount of $149,401 using Sourcewell contract pricing for use by the town of Plattsburgh Highway Department. Therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby grant permission to Mr. Brunel to order said dump body, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign any related documents required for said purchase. Be further resolved that the payment for the said purchase will be made payable from the 2026 equipment capital outlay account as stated here in the budget, and that a copy of this resolution be given the highway superintendent and finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Resolution carries. Resolution 158, culvert replacement on Banker Road extension.
Whereas there is a necessity to continue maintenance and improvements of roadside drainage ditches and the stormwater drainage systems within the town of Plattsburgh. And whereas Jason Cook, Deputy Highway Superintendent, has submitted a letter dated June 3rd of 2025 requesting permission to place an order for 60 feet of 103-inch by 71-inch by 30-foot 12 JA 551 arc culvert. And same as stated here, coupling to replace existing culverts on Banker Road extension. And whereas the total estimated cost of said pipe through sole source pricing from BP Supply is $15,599.70. Therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby approves the purchase of culvert pipe for replacement of Banker Road extension, and the highway superintendent is hereby authorized to make said purchase. Be it further resolved that payment for said purchase will be made payable from the 2025 highway budget repairs account as stated here, in the account that has, and that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and the highway department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Isabella, is there a second?
Second? You can give that to Tom.
He's giving it to you, Tom.
What's that?
He's
Yeah,
gifting
yeah.
that to you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Given that because of the fifth Thursday sequence, we will have some other items coming before us, next week. Seek a review for consideration, for the PDD, and also consideration of the PDD, next week. Before we go into an executive session, just give you a couple of quick updates on some things. Nothing hugely monumental, but interesting nonetheless. We finally got approved for our .gov. What that means is we'll be making another website transition only for our address, which will now, or shortly be becoming, Town of Plattsburgh NY.gov. So just as a heads up, but we will be continuing to use, for lack of a better term, a push address. So if you go to townofplattsburgh.com, it will then push you over to the .gov website. But it means that we need to do an upgrade of emails and so on and so forth, and that was a mandate through the state that we address that. So it's been quite the journey. Because there's more than one Plattsburgh. So yeah.
Will the new .gov on our email eliminate the fob we have to access?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Will not.
The .gov doesn't go to like a
Nope.
app?
Nope.
that we
And
ordered
in
email?
fact, it became such a process, Dan, that I had to go to the post office to certify myself, to then go into the portal to certify myself to, yeah, it was.
Sweet.
Oh,
So it's been interesting. Last little thing before we go into a brief executive session with no action to follow is both You First Federal Credit Union, along with Dannemora Federal Credit Union, are doing lots and lots of good work on behalf of the Michigan Fest. Again, we're getting closer and closer, month by month. August 2nd, $10 car full. They are going to have a band playing there. They are having fireworks. They are having a kids zone. And, you know, I'm just helping them kind of share out to the community as a reminder, this is the inaugural, you know, it's always a big Herculean effort to, you know, kind of create something. Hope the community comes out and supports not only, a fun day, but also supports the Battlefield Memorial Gateway project. But give everyone a little grace, right, as they stand up a big and new project. And let's hope for, I won't say it, but let's hope for,
Good weather.
we'll hope for
Pleasant day.
pleasantry all around. So, without further ado, I would like to,
What time is that, maybe, Michigan Friends?
it's gonna be going on from the afternoon throughout to the evening, so. Yep.
Michael, do you know the names of the, I know there's two women in particular from the banks that are organizing. I am,
Anna, from, Dana Moore Federal Credit Union, and, Meg from You First.
okay, cause I know someone that wants to get involved.
There are still some opportunities, both potentially with the planning committee and also potential with the Maker's Mark and,
That's
you know, food trucks and sponsorships and underwriting and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's,
So we anticipate it's gonna go till about 5 o'clock or so?
no, we'll go later than that into the evening.
It'll do.
Into the evening, the band will be playing in the evening,
Okay.
yeah.
I've got-
But again, what's really nice about this is it's a come and go as you want. It's kind of being built where, you know, there will be some kids' activities, and then if parents and stuff want to come back and, you know, watch the band in the evening with fireworks, like, they've done a really tremendous job
Nice.
kind of making it like a festival type event. And the Maker's Mark and some different things like that, so, yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Is
Okay.
the, Michigan, month,
Michigan Month is still occurring during the month of July.
July, okay.
So,
Passports and-
the joke, and we selected a T-shirt winner. I think people are gonna absolutely love it again this year. It's fantastic. We'll do the
So-
unveiling.
Winner versus wiener?
Winner versus wiener, yes.
Okay.
But as I like to say, the Michigan Fest will keep the fun rolling on to August.
yeah, there you go.
It's the mustard event of the year. Anyways.
Try to
Okay.
catch up with those puns.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
don't relish
boy.
this conversation.
Ah,
On which end, get
Well,
to
just don't
work.
put ketchup
Which
on
again,
it.
get to work.
All right, I would seek a motion to go into executive session regarding, collective bargaining negotiations per Article 14 of Civil Service. Is there a motion to do so?
so move.
Is there a second?
Secondly.
Bosley. Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood.
Oh, yes.
Dana Isabella.
Yes.
Daniel Bosley.
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, we will go into executive session at 6:22 PM, short one, no formal action to follow.